Hey there, this is Jim Donovan. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the show. Today I'd like to talk about one of the deadliest storms in history and the surprising techniques some survivors used to alleviate their PTSD and trauma symptoms. Before we get started, I'd like to invite you to take advantage of a free resource I made for you. It's called the Soundhealth newsletter. In it, I share the latest research in music and health. Plus, you'll learn music and wellness exercises that you can use every day to feel your best. You'll also get discounts and first access to all of my products and events. Remember, it's completely free. Just come visit me at donovanhealth.com to get started today. That's donovanhealth.com. First, I can't even imagine the suffering that people experience after a natural disaster. And with our ever-changing climate, it seems as though these kinds of ordeals are happening more and more. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what people in the Bahamas must be feeling after the recent ravaging effects of Hurricane Dorian, the country's worst natural disaster on record. At least 70,000 people were left homeless. And not too long ago, there was the horror of the 2010 earthquake in Haiti that claimed the lives of approximately 316,000 people, making it the third deadliest natural disaster of all time. You might also recall the devastation of the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami that killed nearly 230,000 people in 14 countries. It was the third largest earthquake ever recorded. It can make you feel helpless sometimes, especially watching the aftermath on the news. Entire towns reduced to unrecognizable rubble. Families who are torn apart and forever changed. People's livelihoods that have completely vanished. It will take years, if not decades, for these people to recover. Although you may never experience the unthinkable ravages of a natural disaster, and I hope you don't, you will inevitably be touched by tragedy in some capacity during your life, and almost certainly a few times over. Tragedies that will bring you to your knees and make you feel as if your world has been flipped upside down just the same. And yet, if you look close enough, you will often find rays of hope hidden underneath the heaviness of life's challenges. One of my childhood heroes, Mr. Rogers, described this idea well, as he so often did. He said, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.'" Among the many helpers after the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami was a team of researchers who wanted to offer aid on a large scale. The researchers explained, "Our study was motivated by the need to develop effective interventions for the psychological trauma of mass disasters, in which the magnitude of affected populations and the destruction of infrastructures often rendered standard psychiatric services ineffective." The team, comprised of scientists from the US and India, published their findings in 2009 in a Scandinavian medical journal, and what they found was simply remarkable. The researchers recruited 183 participants from the most devastated areas, particularly the coastal fishing villages on the southeast coast of India, and all of them were still living in refugee camps at the time of the study. So this is 5 years later. Their ages ranged from 18 to 65 years old. Researchers examined whether specific breathing techniques could help decrease symptoms of PTSD and depression or improve quality of life among the tsunami survivors. The 4 breathing techniques included something called ujjayi breathing, also known as the victorious breath. These are deep inhalations followed by exhalations in which you constrict the opening of your throat to create air resistance. I'll show you how to do this later on. The second was Bhastrika pranayama, also known as bellows breath. This is a quick and forceful series of exhales through your nose. The third was Om chanting, something we've done on this show before, which is the repetition of the Om syllable, like this. Om. And then the last technique was called Sudarshan Kriya, which means clear vision through purifying action. This technique is a sequence of breathing at different rates, starting slowly, then moderately, and then briefly at a fast rate. and the sequence is repeated several times. The researchers engaged participants in 2-hour sessions over a 4-day period where they trained the participants on all 4 breathing techniques. Following the training, they were instructed to perform the exercises for 20 minutes a day for 6 weeks, in addition to weekly group practice sessions intended to further reduce stress and improve the breathing technique. The researchers periodically followed up with the subjects for evaluations. What they found was that at both the 6-week and 24-week mark, the research team found a 60% reduction in PTSD symptom scores, as well as a whopping 90% reduction in depression symptoms. How can simple breathing exercises produce such impressive results? If you take a look at what happens inside the body during these exercises, you'll find an important similarity. All of them stimulate the vagus nerve. Stimulating this nerve can trigger an array of health benefits, including restoring balance to the parasympathetic nervous system, also known as the rest and digest system, which is activated when the body is comfortable and at rest, boosting levels of pain-relieving and mood-improving chemicals like dopamine and endorphins, heightening the production of oxytocin, also known as the bonding hormone. Kudos to this team of researchers and instructors for pitching in when it was desperately needed. Not only did these exercises help the trauma survivors to feel better, but these people who had lost nearly everything now had something they could do for themselves. They had new tools that they were in control of when the rest of their life circumstances were out of control, and something they could share with one another as they slowly rebuilt what they once called home. Now, if you'd like to learn some of these techniques, I'd like to show you one of them, which is called ujjayi breathing, or the victorious breath. Like the other techniques, this breathing exercises stimulate your vagus nerve, which can help to alleviate stress, focus your mind, and balance your body. The exercise should help you feel both energized and relaxed. Let's get started. Begin by making yourself comfortable. It's a good idea to sit down for this one if you're able. Now, with your mouth closed, I'd like you to inhale through your nose a little more than usual, so really fill your lungs up. Ready? Now I want you to open your mouth and exhale a sound with your breath, like you're trying to fog up a window or polish a pair of glasses. As you do that, notice how the muscles in the back of your throat are contracting. This will give you an idea of how the breath should feel in your throat during the exercise. Now, this time, we're going to do the exhale with your mouth closed. So we'll breathe in through the nose, and when you exhale, keep your mouth closed and try to make that ha sound in the back of your throat. Let's try one and see what it sounds like. Breathe in. Mouth is closed, but making that sound in the back of your throat like this. It's almost like the sound of Darth Vader, if you know the Star Wars movie. It's also kind of the sound of sighing, if you've ever had a teenager in the house. It's that sound. Okay. When we do this, your jaw should be relaxed and your throat muscles should be contracted. Let's try another one. Big breath in. And then mouth is closed. Relax your jaw. Good. Let's try a few more. Breath in. How about one more? Breath in. As you practice this exercise, see if you can eventually work your way up to about 8 minutes. That's the duration that produced the effects in the study. Also, be sure to stop immediately if you feel out of breath or dizzy. always listen to your body. No matter what sort of adversity or tragedy you might be faced with in life, these techniques can help you cope. It certainly helped many people who lived through the terrifying events of the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. And despite how awful it was, this is one of the most moving stories I've seen in a long time, depicting how people can utilize their own built-in abilities to help themselves feel better. Sound, breath, movement, and connecting with other people can truly be powerful medicine when you know how to use them. This is the reason why I've dedicated my life to sharing these techniques. Ultimately, it's my dream for the whole world to discover this inner ability to heal themselves. I'm certain it will make our world a happier, healthier place. That's it for today. This is Jim Donovan. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to come see us on our social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Just search Jim Donovan Sound Health. Now, before you go, I'd like to let you know about a free resource I made for you. It's called the Sound Health newsletter. In it, I share the latest research in music and health in an easy-to-understand form. I also share beginner-friendly music and wellness exercises that you can use every day to feel your best. When you sign up, you also get discounts and first access to all of my Sound Health products and events. Remember, it's completely free. If you'd like it, just visit donovanhealth.com and enter your name and email address, and I'll start sending you new issues right away. While you're on the website, you can also read full transcripts of this show and check out a ton of other valuable resources. If you have any feedback, send me an email to feedback@donovanhealth.com. All the information presented on this show is for educational purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. Lastly, come and visit me on our Sound Health Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube channels. I'd love to see you there. The Sound Health podcast is produced by OmniVista Health Learning and Donovan Health Solutions. For Sound Health, this is Jim Donovan. See you next time. Take care.